Hey y'all! So I thought I would come to you from a new location today, give you some different beige walls to look at. So welcome to my living room. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole thing. I live in the tiniest, cutest little house, which actually I've been wanting to share a story with you, and I've been having a hard time getting this video started today, so maybe you'll indulge me if I just start with a little story. I've talked a number of times about my transition through the Mandela effect and whatever it is that we're going through. But there's something I haven't shared, and I do think it's something that a lot of y'all can probably relate to. It's been almost 3 years now. I completely quit my profession. I had been a college professor full-time at one college for over 10 years and part-time for a number of years before that. And for most of those years, it was truly my calling. It was the thing that I was meant to do. I loved going in every day. I was so excited about it. But then one day, it just died, and I couldn't. I'll tell you exactly when I knew that my job as a teacher was over. One of the things I prided myself on was being able to handle any question that came my way. The challenging questions, the confusing questions, the questions about material that maybe like if I just said, the sky is blue, and somebody says, "Ooh, miss," and I said, "Yes, Bobby," and Bobby says, "What color's the sky?" I could even handle those questions because I love discussion in my classroom. And then one day in 2013, I had a student ask me a question that really was not the worst question I'd ever heard. And I just went, "What?" And immediately I knew I needed to quit teaching. And I thought, well, shoot, what am I going to do with my life? I'm like in my late 30s and got a pretty good gig here, but it's just not going to work for me anymore. And I thought about all the things I love and I enjoy, and I thought maybe I'll become a dog trainer. So I had my heart set on that. I read books. Man, I just got really into the idea of becoming a dog trainer. I even got a job at a dog daycare with a fantastic dog trainer. And that was not at all what I wanted. So then what? So one day I'm working out in my yard, and this woman comes walking by. And she says, "I just love your house. It is so cute. It's like a little doll's house." And I said, "Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm thinking about selling it." Well, that was news to me. I was like, "Well, where did that come from?" I mean, obviously, I think anybody who owns a home, you think about selling it. You think about selling it when the pipes burst and when the neighbor goes crazy on meth. But to say that out loud, like, I am thinking about selling it. And she said, "Really? Because I have a friend who was thinking about moving to the area." To make this very long story short, about 6 weeks later, I had sold my house, my car, just about everything I owned, put my dog in my new car, and we just hit the road. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a destination. But the only thing that I knew was there were a lot of towns in this country who do not allow pit bull type dogs. So I had a list of cities just to avoid. And that's really it. And the dog and I just drove around for about 6 weeks. Driving and driving, checking places out, going, maybe here, nah, maybe not there. We're in one town. I don't want to say that y'all's name, but there were chicken bones all over your town. And I asked the lady at the hotel, I said, "How come there are chicken bones all over your town?" And she said, "I don't know, I guess we just like our wings." I said, "Okay, well, thank you very much." And then we left that town because that's just not really the kind of place that I think I'd be happy in. So we just drove around and around and around. Fate, synchronicity, everything brought us to this current location. And I have never felt more at home in my life. And I don't really have a reason for sharing that story with you, except that as I look back with these new eyes, with this new perspective after the Mandela effect, I can see so many choices that I have made that I think had a lot to do with this. It had a lot to do with getting me to this point in my life. Choices that have gotten me here with y'all in this community, this online community. I mean, how amazing for me that I, A, stumble onto a town that feels like home, and then B, stumble into a community online that feels like home. So, a number of y'all have done some really fantastic videos lately about synchronicity and how things can just come together. And I think a lot of us, if we look back, we'll see that that's been true for a long, long time in our lives. You might even call it a miracle. And that's really why I started this video today. My last video I asked y'all if anyone would be interested in maybe making a miracle happen. And it turns out y'all are. So many of y'all are. And not just interested, excited, ready. There was a whole bunch of let's do this, let's make it happen. But also so many of you guys had some really fantastic ideas of things that we can do. And so I thought maybe we could start with one idea, because I think it's an idea that it just hits a lot of points that we want our ideas to hit. For example, it's free. That's awesome. But also, I think it's pretty easy. And actually, I think it's something that so many of us already do. Maybe do it on a daily basis. Maybe we just haven't done it as a community in a group. But also, speaking of reasons why I think this is fantastic, is we can do this together as a community, as a memory family, as a group of caring individuals. And we don't even have to leave our homes. We can do this in our underwear. Don't tell some of the trolls that, because they already have some issues with seeing skin. And also, some of the trolls are very concerned that I don't have curtains on my bedroom windows. I thought about answering that, and I just thought, nah, I'll let them wonder. Oh, okay. So, also, the reason that I think this idea that maybe we can start with, now I'm throwing this out there, if anybody sees any major problems with it, you just tell me. I'm just throwing ideas out there. But I think the one that we can start with is, I think usually referred to as focused intention. But some people might refer to it as prayer. So I think one of the reasons I really like this first idea is that it doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are, your spiritual beliefs, if you're agnostic, you don't even have to be experiencing the Mandela effect. All you have to do is think positive thoughts at a certain thing for a certain reason on a certain day at a certain time with a whole bunch of your buddies all over the world. That's all we got to do. I mean, basically the hardest thing you might have to do is set your alarm clock. I mean, we'll do it at a reasonable hour. Nobody worry about that. But just in case you're taking a nap, I don't want you to miss the miracle. So the basic idea, and I am no expert at this, I've done my own positive thinking stuff, but I've never done it as a group. But this is something people have been doing for a long, long time, a lot longer than we've been on this planet. So the basic idea is just, we pick a day, we pick a time, we get as many people together as we can, and we pick something to focus our positive thoughts and energy toward that will make this world a better place. And maybe it'll work. And maybe it won't. But I know it won't hurt. And I think at the very least, we'll benefit from it. Just the idea that we're trying something and we're doing something. I mean, we have to start somewhere, right? So why not start with something that most of us probably do in some way all the time anyway? So what I'm thinking is, if we can get as many channels interested as possible and get as many people just to sort of spread the word, and I'm thinking, you can, if you don't have any subscribers, if you've got 1 million subscribers, anybody can participate in this. just spread the word on your channel. If you're on Facebook, you could spread the word. There are so many ways that we can reach people with this idea. And you guys in the comments, you tell us how can we spread this? Because obviously the more people we have with focused positive energy and vibration and love, the more likely it will be to work. So if we can get just a whole bunch of people to participate in this, and you don't even have to make a video. I was thinking, I bet we have a ton of artists out there. Really, don't you think that our group, our little Mandela effecty people, I bet we're probably a pretty artistic group too. Music, poetry. I've seen some really good poetry, some painters. I bet we have all kinds of artists. Maybe a graphic designer wants to design just a picture or something. So if somebody wants to do a real easy video, they just post a picture on the YouTube and say a couple of words to spread the message. So here is what we need. People to participate. The more the merrier. We need a date. Maybe there's a special date coming up. I don't know if we want to pick something like a solstice or if that's just getting a little too, for people. And a time, obviously, because we all want to have it happening at the same time. And maybe the hardest thing that we're going to have to figure out is, what is our intention going to be? What is the thought that we're going to be trying to, as a group, send out to the world? So I'm sure you'll have questions. I've done my best to explain it. I know there are web pages and books and articles that you guys can share in the comments section that might help us to get a better handle on this idea. But I'm just really excited that we have an idea. I think it's a great one. If you see any problems with it at all, please let us know in the comments section. We don't just have to learn how to spell all the new words here. We just have a lot of stuff that we have to learn. So the way we're going to do that is if we just keep talking to each other. So what do you think? Does this sound like a miracle that we could maybe make happen? Let me know in the comments.